What's happening, everybody? Trey here, joined by my dad, Sean, and today at Reactions to the Classics, we are up to 1997 in our top 5 albums by year draft. You can check out our back catalog of these drafts going all the way back to the year 1965. Been a fun series.
And if you'd like to support us in any way, check out our Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. The patrons get to vote for an album listening party to do once a month on YouTube, and we curate it from these lists. So, Trey, I've got first pick. You've got second, third pick. Some years it doesn't matter. This year, it absolutely matters because there is, for me, one standout album. The only album that could have been number one for me, and I'm going to guess with you saying what you said. You agree.
I mean, it's hanging behind us, man.
Yeah, it is. The number one album, OK Computer, Radiohead. Third studio album, number one in the UK. Won a Grammy. Of course, you got Paranoid Android, No Surprises, Karma Police, and one of my probably top 15 favorite songs of all time, Let Down, which wasn't even a single. It was actually in consideration for being the first single. And Tom Bjork pushed to have Paranoid Android, even though the length of it and Let Down never got released. Yeah, I think for this, Trey, it's not as accessible as the Bends. And so I think in this album, you either get it or you don't. I don't think you find a lot of people middle of the road on this one. So, yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, and I know you know this album even better than I do. So.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely would have been my number one as well. I mean, one of the more acclaimed records of all time as well, especially in the internet age. Number one on Rate Your Music and has been for a while.
Yeah.
And, just a classic album, man. It would have been my number one, so I like that you had it there. But
well, you probably didn't. You probably wished I didn't.
But I still have a 5-star album as my number one here. I got Elliott Smith's Either Or, probably a top, I don't know, maybe 25 album of all time for me, as is OK Computer. So, I mean,
how many albums have you listened to right now?
About 1,700.
So two of the top 25 are in this year. Wow.
1997, off to a hot start, man. Really resonate and enjoy this record by Elliott. I think it is his best, kind of in that sweet spot from his earlier work is just, straight acoustic to what he would do on XO and later on into his career as well, using the studio more. So kind of has that indie rock, lo-fi, folky production, gives this a unique sounding quality. Only 12 songs, so the album breezes by. Good, and famously Good Will Hunting director Gus Van Sant was a big fan, used a few of the songs from here in the movie, and of course had Elliott do Miss Misery, which kind of propelled Elliott's music and popularity through the roof for that time. My favorite on here is actually 2:45 a.m. It was my most listened to track a few years back. Say Yes is great, Between the Bars, Angelus, but I mean you can't really go wrong with any track on here.
Excellent choice. It would have made my list.
And now we're also going to go to another great kind of indie rock, emo, post-hardcore album all into one. Modest Mouse's The Lonesome, Crowded West. That really showcases the talent of a lead singer, Isaac Brock. Brock's unique kind of twang pops up on the opener, Teeth Like God's Shoe Shine. Trailer Trash is an indie rock classic. Cowboy Dan is another one of my favorites. Great storytelling, lovely guitar tones and work throughout here, and really kind of fits that Lonesome, Crowded West type of vibe. This is one you can just put in on the car, drive, and just enjoy it. Most songs are 5 minutes plus in length, but it doesn't feel like an album that drags on by any means, man. So those are my first two.
All right, well, my next album would have been my number one album if it wasn't for OK Computer. This is a guy that I just love this guy, man. Through this journey, I've discovered all his albums, and they're all highly rated. Every one of his albums either makes one of our lists or is honorable mention.
Oh, yeah.
They almost all make our list. There's a couple made honorable mention. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, if you can throw them in there. The Boatman's Call, 10th studio album, totally different, entirely piano-driven. 12 songs, 52 minutes. The opener, Into My Arms, is a stand. It's one of my favorite songs of his. And his voice actually has a chance to really shine. You really get to feel the soul and softness and tone of it, which you don't always get to feel when he's delivering those other songs that are fantastic too, but kind of the eclectic songs.
No, man, I'm totally with you, Dad. I mean, this would have been in the running to make my list as well. Yeah, Nick Cave, I mean, he might have appeared on more years and lists than any other artist we've had, because either you or I have chosen
he might have.
him
Well, we got a guy who curates these for us both start. He's going to let us know somewhere down the line. I was thinking the same thing. Now, Trey, got to go to the man. I had his debut at number 1 on my list for a previous year because in '94 because you stole what I wanted for number 1. Life After Death, the Notorious B.I.G. Second final studio album, double album. It's a long one. Doesn't seem like it. Released 16 days after his death.
I've always thought that was a little eerie and just, I mean, it's called Life After Death.
Okay,
right?
so his first album's Ready to Die.
Yeah.
And then his second album, I think it's very eerie. I was actually telling your mom that when I was listening to it. She didn't seem to see the connection. But yeah, so we've got Hypnotized. We got More Money, More Problems. I got a story to tell. It's so consistent. And I said it in '94 when I picked Ready to Die. His flow is just unparalleled. It's just unbelievable.
No, man, and one of my favorite songs on this is Notorious Thugs, where you get the Bone Thugs and Harmony in there
as well.
Yeah, just a really, really strong record, and shows why Big is one of the GOATs, man. So you can't go wrong with either of those picks, Dad. Those were both going to be.
Would you have picked one of those?
I probably would have. I don't know. It's a loaded.
Well, there's only one album you stole from me, and I was hoping you didn't listen to this because it's from a very, out there band, and you stole this from me because that was going to be my next pick. Yeah,
man, we're going Built to Spills, perfect from now on. Talking about artists we've discovered, I've enjoyed their, and of all places, they're from Idaho. Who would have thunk, man? Their third,
no offense to our Idaho
people. But small poppy, I don't know. But their third record, initially recorded by frontman and guitarist Doug March. I just butchered his last name.
No, I don't think you did. I think that's right.
He played all the instruments on it, Dad. Then he got help from the bassist and the drummer, so then they recorded it twice. But those tapes overheated in the car. So then it was like, okay, we got to record this a third time. And I think maybe that was a blessing in disguise because maybe they were so like crisp and tight on, just playing these songs that it really, stood out as we got the final product right here. Again, kind of in that indie rock vein. Most songs clocking in at 6+ minutes, but my favorites are Velvet Waltz and I Would Hurt a Fly. You hear I Wouldn't Hurt a Fly. No, I Would Hurt a Fly. So again, love me some indie rock, as you can see by Modest Mouse and Built to Spell being on my list. But we're gonna shift gears now to Bjork's Homogenic, her third record. This is one where 1 minute a beautiful orchestral section will hit you, and then the next you got like a techno breakdown that hits you in the gut. Yeah. The Frantic Pluto is a good example of that. An album I think that even people who aren't big into like electronic music, I'd kind of put myself in that category.
Oh, me too.
They can grasp onto a few tracks that they would enjoy. We have Pluto, Unravel, All Is Full of Love, and then one of her best tracks, Yoga, as highlights on this record. A lot of stuff going in the background too. The production. There was a stalker that she had that that caused a lot of turmoil in her life. Before that, so the recording was a bit muddied and whatnot, but hey, we ended up getting a really great album.
Yeah, I would have made my honorable mention, definitely. Now we go to my number 4 pick, which could have been number 1 in previous years, but this year is very strong for me. We got Urban Hymns by the Verve, their third studio album, 19th best-selling album in UK history. Wow. You got Lucky Man, Bittersweet Symphony, and you got The Drugs Don't Work. Now, the only hit that the Verve ever had in America was Bittersweet Symphony. So back in the day, I thought that's all there was to them. On this journey, all 3 of their albums so far have ended up on my top 5 list, not honorable mention, top 5 list. Ashcroft and the Boys, just fantastic lyrics, fantastic vocals. Just really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, man, it's a good record. Would have made my honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Well, I didn't really have a 5th record. There was a bunch of people. I thought those first 4 for me were incredibly strong. The 5th one could have went a lot of different ways. So I'm going to go to Ladies and Gentlemen, We Are Floating in Space by Spiritualized. Did a reaction to this recently for our patron, Josh. Their third studio album, All of My Thoughts, and then the title track, which is the first track on there. Yeah. Ladies and Gentlemen, We're Floating in Space. It's a little bit long, but it's still, what albums in the 90s aren't? So that's going to come in with my final pick. What do you got?
No, that's a good pick. I like that record as well. Definitely a headphone listening, full album experience for sure from Spiritualized. And my final record is going to hail from Texas, man. Austin,
Don't even
Texas.
know these guys.
I hadn't heard of them until just digging through some records. They're called Mineral, with the record The Power of Failing, debut record from the email group. have your typical like sad emo lyrics, but also mix a dose of post-hardcore with even some Christianity tinged lyrics that don't come across as corny. But and then you have those fantastic guitar and drum breakdowns. Check out Gloria and Dolorosa in particular, and then if you like those, you might like the rest of the record.
All right, we got some honorable mentions. We got F sharp, A sharp, Infinity by Godspeed You Black Emperor. I'm just going to tell you, it's an hour and 3 minutes. It's 3 songs. The last song's 30 minutes long. I was playing it in the car when I went and picked your sister up at her friend. She's like, "Can we not listen to this?" It is different, man. It is different, but it's a cool vibe once you get in.
I enjoyed it too, man.
It's a different. That's all I can tell you, man. I don't know what else.
Like
to tell
field
you.
recordings in there. Like there's hardly any vocals.
No,
like,
it's something different. I also got Telling Stories by the Charlatans and Blur's self-titled.
I got a little Green Day, Nimrod action.
On that album back in the day.
Sleater Kinney would Dig Me Out. Great record right there. Yeah. Ween's The Mollusk, another one that is very psychedelic at points. Great headphone. Yola Tango's I Can Hear the Heart Beating is one. Deftones, Around the Fur. Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape. Everlong. You could argue their best track.
Love the Foo, man.
It is on that, and Erykah Baduism up in there as well. But all in all, man, I think this is a pretty darn strong year as we look at both of our lists.
Yeah, I think it's a strong year.
And include the honorable mentions in there. But let us know your winner of this year's draft, as well as your favorite records that came out from this year. Any that we didn't mention, be sure to let us know. And we have 1998 around the corner. Only a couple years left in the 90s.
Crazy, man.
These drafts are just flying on by here. So be sure to hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future drafts. And until next time, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and we will see you.